I've got a cold. Feel like shit. Sound like shit. It always happens when I travel. It's the airplanes, I swear. They're just like traveling get a cold boxes. But you know what? Having a cold now that I'm recovered, it's like a million times better than having a cold when I had anorexia. Because now, well, pretty much what I've done is sit on the sofa, and actually what I did is I watched the whole mini-series of Jane Eyre, the 2006 one. I don't know, just felt like it. It was quite good, actually. I like period dramas, got to admit. Make me feel at home. I'm not sure why. But you know what I used to, when I had a cold, when I had anorexia, I had to keep going. I would be in the gym snivelling and sneezing and coughing all over the flipping bicycles and stair climbers and treadmills. I was that person that's like in the gym, disgusting, spreading germs all over the place. And, I would also tell myself these stories that, it makes me better to sweat it out. What kind of shit is that? That's not true. I think that someone told me that once, that, you can sweat out when you're sick, you can sweat it out. And I used to just feed myself that lie that, this is making me feel so much better. No, it didn't, ever. It's just disgusting, and it was just an excuse because I couldn't not go to the gym and I couldn't not work out. And so they're pushing my poor body that's trying to fight a cold as it is, and I'd be pushing it to still do my usual gym routine. It's so miserable. You know what? It's not even that bad having a cold now. I mean, I shouldn't say that because having a cold's not fun. But I just get to sit around and drink orange juice, eat crisps and chocolate, and I've sent Matt out to get dinner because I'm too weak and feeble to move off the sofa. So it's really not even that bad. I get to catch up on some period dramas and just be whiny for a couple of days and get Matt to bring me stuff. I should have been a guy because they say man flu. I'm a bit like that when I've got a cold. Can't do anything. Anyway, so yeah, just in case you're wondering, even being sick is better when you don't have an eating disorder because just get to lie around and not really care. I cannot imagine pushing myself to go to the gym right now. That seems like lunacy to me, but there you go. I was a lunatic when I had anorexia, and I'm sure plenty of you are too. I'm still quite a lunatic some of the time, but not in the same way. Hi, Dave. Dave is a complete lunatic. And she certainly wouldn't go. If Dave had a cold, there's no way you'd go and work out, would you, Dave? Nope. Alright, okay, who's this question from? I don't know, I didn't write down the name. But they've written, "Hi Tabitha, I've had back and forth with being all in or all out of recovery, and I've noticed that my all in involves me eating all the food, but I don't even get enjoyment out of it because of the guilt. I often do the eating what I want when I want as much as I want, sometimes to the point my stomach points, which hurts, which is embarrassing, but I'm terrified it's binge eating, etc. At the beginning it was partially justified by the fact I did need to get my weight up, but now that I've entered my healthy weight range, I'm just terrified. I feel like I look huge and my hunger hasn't really subsided. I don't want to overshoot because I was overweight before my eating disorder, not massively but a bit. Well, overweight according to whom, by the way? Anyway, I think that if I overshot, my body would balance itself out. I don't think. Anyway, I think it would just stay like that, and I don't want it at all. It's hard for me to get a good cycle going because I find myself restricting 2 days before I have to go to my day program and the morning of, and then when I get home from it, I eat what I want, whenever I want, as much as I want, for 2 or 3 days, and then the cycle just starts again because I have this fear of gaining large amounts of weight at the beginning. So I'm not entirely sure what my question is, but it's a bit of a statement really. I'm scared of overshoot because I already feel huge, and I'm wondering if what I'm doing is binge eating and how to stop it. All right, well, there's a lot of fear in there, isn't it? It's not just a coincidence that most all people who are recovering from restrictive eating disorder all think that you're going to binge yourself into oblivion. And, that's the reason that you want to binge eat is because your body needs to. It's quite as simple as that. Now, I think that the main problem that you have is you've not committed to your unsuppressed body weight. and you're still telling yourself, I don't like my unsuppressed body weight. I don't like the weight I was before I had anorexia. And you said that you were overweight, not massively, but a bit. So to me, like, how do you know you're overweight? Maybe that was the weight that your body was supposed to be and beautiful and happy and healthy at. So we need to have a little bit of a think about the health at every size model and apply it to yourself. It's highly likely that you actually weren't overweight before. I mean, I don't know that. I don't know you, but I'm just taking a wild guess. When you say that you're not massively, but a bit overweight, and if that's where your body was, then what, overweight according to whom? A BMI chart? Well, since when did they know shit? So I would imagine that what we have here is not a problem with your binge eating at all. I don't think your biology has any problems. It's doing exactly what it should do. What we got a problem here is your attitude to your body, which has been taught to you by the culture that you're in, and you know, all these things, our brains are big learning machines, and all these things are factored into you learning that there was something wrong with your body before. Now, guess what I'm just trying to say is maybe start to consider that there was nothing wrong with your body before, actually, and that your body was beautiful, happy, and probably healthy, and way healthier than it is now, and you were probably way happier than you are now. So that's really what needs to be changed. I don't think you need to change anything I don't think you need to be telling your body that you should be eating less or changing any of that. Your body's just doing its job. You need to change the attitude and the mindset and the belief system that you have around your body. That's no easy feat. It takes a long time. It takes consistent conditioning. It takes you consistently stopping yourself from just like you did there, saying I was overweight. You should just be like, nope, I was just a weight. There's no over. There doesn't need to be an over involved. I was just my weight. Because you're probably a perfect weight for you. So I think that it's like you've got to come back to like I'm not gonna suppress my body weight and allow my body to get to its unsuppressed body weight, and accept that wherever my unsuppressed body weight is where my body is happy and healthy and my body knows best. It's the judgment that starts to mess things up, isn't it? And I'm not just saying that you're the only one that has this judgment. Of course you're not. Within a culture that glamorizes thinness and are brought up to most people are always brought up to want to be thinner than they are, and thinner they should naturally be. And we're even in a culture that thinks that is harmless, but it's not harmless, is it? And now that people are beginning to talk about that it's not harmless, and we're in a culture that calls body diversity, calls people overweight, when actually that's not respecting body diversity at all. It's really not. And it doesn't sound to me like you really were overweight at all. And so I think that your body's just trying to get you back to where your body knows it should be, and you're fighting that. You're struggling against that. I get it. Many people are going to be watching this video, going to get it. It's one of the things that is the hardest part. One of the hardest parts of recovery is understanding that your body is not necessarily going to settle where your judgment wants it to. And learning that no matter how much you don't want your body to settle at that point, it's not going to make it any less true that it needs to settle at that point. And so then you come around to the understanding, well, I can either spend my entire life fighting my own biology, which obviously doesn't result in happiness, because not many of us can say that it's made us massively happy to restrict food and suppress our natural body weights. Or somehow you can retrain your brain and train your brain that there's actually nothing wrong with your natural unsuppressed body weight. I highly suggest that you go for option B there, because that's pretty much the only one that's going to make you happy. When we fight our own biology, no good comes of that. I know that that's difficult. That's where the hard work lies, though. And that's why I wrote a whole book on it. And the nutritional rehabilitation is one point, but the neural rewiring is another. And neural rewiring involves changing your belief systems about your body. And that's crucial for many of us in recovery. And understanding that our bodies can be happy and healthy and not at the BMI of whatever the BMI chart says that it's supposed to be. Some of us are within that BMI chart, some of us aren't within that BMI chart healthy range. It's just the sooner that we, as a culture, we can change this belief system that body diversity doesn't exist, and change this belief system that thinner is better. I think the sooner as a culture, as a society, we're going to be much happier within our own skin. But you can't change the culture as an individual, and that's not your job to do that either. But you do have to work on this. It is your job to change this. Belief systems are learnt. Our brain learns them. And you can teach your brain to believe that your body is beautiful at the weight it's supposed to be without you suppressing it. I promise you that you can do that if you work hard enough and if it's your intention. But you've got to stop fighting it. It's not going to work if you continue to fight it. And that is a hard fucking pill to swallow. I understand that. But it's one of those pills that when you swallow it, it's like, oh, this is fine, actually. This is so much nicer than continually being at war with my own body. And then you think, why didn't I do this years ago? Because we're not taught to. But you can. I hope that helps.